After Ganga's departure, Shantanu sank into a deep depression, his heart heavy with sorrow. However, clinging to the hope of reuniting with his son someday, he gradually emerged from the depths of his despair. Determined to honor his duties as king, Shantanu redirected his focus towards the welfare of his kingdom, rekindling his sense of purpose and responsibility. As he immersed himself in the affairs of the realm, Shantanu rediscovered his lost virtues and regal demeanor. With renewed determination, he embarked on a path of righteousness, upholding justice and fairness in his rule. Witnessing his transformation, his subjects marveled at his resilience and strength of character, realizing that their king was no ordinary man. Inspired by his unwavering resolve and benevolent governance, the people rallied behind Shantanu, their admiration for him growing stronger than ever before. From the depths of despair, Shantanu emerged as a beacon of hope and leadership, earning the respect and adoration of his people as a truly great king. Shantanu diligently focused on strengthening his army, recognizing the importance of preparedness in the face of potential threats. Under his guidance, rigorous training sessions were conducted to enhance the skills and prowess of his soldiers. The army trainer assured Shantanu that each warrior would be capable of defeating at least 10 opponents at once. They were specially trained to adeptly defend against volleys of arrows launched by 10 archers at once, while simultaneously launching counterattacks with precision and skill. Shantanu felt a surge of joy and pride swell within him as he beheld his fortified army, knowing that they stood as a formidable force ready to defend the kingdom against any adversity. For over 2 decades, Shantanu had governed his kingdom with unwavering devotion, fostering love and unity among his people while diligently fortifying his army. The saints of the kingdom decorated his rule by revered title of Raja Rajeshwara, signifying his status as a king among kings. One day, while patrolling his kingdom, Shantanu chanced upon a woman whose beauty stirred memories of Ganga within him. The woman, engaged in the humble task of fishing, caught Shantanu's attention with her grace and simplicity. Intrigued, Shantanu approached her and learned that her name was Satyavathi. Her demeanor, marked by humility and kindness, captivated Shantanu's heart. In a bold move, Shantanu expressed his desire to marry Satyavathi, surprising her with his proposal. Overwhelmed by the unexpected offer from the king of Hastinapur himself, Satyavathi felt a mixture of confusion and fear. She hesitated, suggesting that the decision should be completely her father's, with a suggestion to discuss the matter with her father Dasaraja. Satyavathi retreated, leaving Shantanu to ponder the implications of his proposal. Shantanu sent a summons to Satyavathi's father, Dasaraja, who arrived at the palace feeling tense and apprehensive. Overwhelmed by the grandeur of the palace, Dasaraja met Shantanu, who expressed his desire to marry Satyavathi. Delighted by the proposal, Dasaraja immediately accepted, his heart brimming with joy at the thought of his grandson's becoming king of Hastinapura in the future. Shantanu, filled with respect and gratitude, hugged Dasaraja and assured that he would make all the necessary arrangements for the marriage, leaving Dasaraja to return home with boundless happiness. One day, an informant approached King Shantanu with troubling news that complaints had surfaced regarding the halted flow of the Ganga river, causing concern among the people. Shocked by this revelation, Shantanu wasted no time in taking action. He promptly dispatched a group of his ministers and soldiers, to investigate the issue and determine the cause of the river's stagnation. The soldiers departed from the palace and arrived at the Ganga River, where they were met with a startling sight. The water had ceased to flow. Determined to uncover the cause, they traced the river's path and stumbled upon a colossal barrier constructed entirely of arrows, obstructing the natural flow of the river. The magnitude of this discovery left them stunned, realizing the gravity of the situation before them. Soldiers surmised that constructing such a barrier would require the efforts of at least 1,000 men. Undeterred, they pressed forward, intent on uncovering the mystery. Expecting to encounter an opposing army, the soldiers instead found themselves confronted by a solitary figure, armed with a bow, standing defiantly in their path. The man introduced himself as Devavratha and claimed that he was the one who stopped the Ganga River flow. The soldiers scoffed at his assertion that he alone had stopped the flow of the Ganga River, asserting that such a monumental feat could not have been accomplished by a single man. Devavratha insisted on meeting King Shantanu, but the soldiers remained unconvinced, threatening to apprehend him and present him to the king as a captive. Devavratha issued a stern warning to the soldiers, cautioning them that unless King Shantanu was brought to the scene, the flow of the river would remain obstructed, and they would face dire consequences. Enraged by his defiance, a soldier raised his bow to strike. But before he could release his arrow, Devavratha swiftly intervened, his own arrow shattering the soldier's bow mid. With remarkable agility and precision, Devavratha leaped into action, launching a barrage of arrows at the soldiers. Moving with incredible speed and agility, Devavratha skillfully dodged the arrows launched by the soldiers, evading their attacks with ease. Attacking with lightning-fast speed, Devavratha struck the soldiers with relentless precision, moving so swiftly that they struggled to pinpoint his location amidst the flurry of his assaults. Devavratha effortlessly evaded the onslaught of hundreds of arrows, appearing almost as if the arrows themselves refused to strike him. To further amplify his prowess, Devavratha swiftly mounted a horse. Dozens of them, not able to overcome a single man, made the soldiers tense and frustrated, shouted aloud in exasperation. Despite the challenges of shooting from a swiftly moving horse, Devavratha's arrows found their mark with unerring accuracy, swiftly felling each soldier from their mounts one by one, leaving them incapacitated on the ground. To bring the confrontation to a conclusion, Devavratha placed an arrow upon his forehead, closed his eyes, and recited a powerful mantra silently within his mind. With focused determination, he released the arrow, which transformed into 1,000 projectiles in the sky, and mercilessly rained down on the soldiers. One soldier, who had remained unaffected by the arrows, opened his eyes to find Devavratha right in front of his face, locking eyes with him. Devavratha repeated his earlier sentence, that he was the one who stopped the Ganga River flow. But this time the soldier didn't scoff. Instead, he shivered in fear, unable to utter a single word in response. Devavratha, with a smile on his face, once again insisted on meeting King Shantanu. This time without hesitation, the soldier mounted his horse and rushed back to the palace to deliver the urgent message. The soldier swiftly delivered the urgent message to the palace, where it reached King Shantanu, shocking him to the core. Learning that nearly 30 soldiers had been captured without harm, arrows turning into ropes and tying soldiers, and one arrow turning into thousands of arrows, Shantanu realized that a formidable adversary wielding the power of Shastrastra had attacked their kingdom. In response, he swiftly ordered his ministers to assemble the whole army within the hour, setting out for the site of the incident alongside the available soldiers.